Hey, hi everyone. Once again, welcome back to my channel, Imtiaz IT Service. In today's session, we'll be understanding about string buffer because in the last class, we have been talking about string and it methods there, right? I hope you have been watched this video. If not, please watch that video and then you come back there. Fine. Okay. So let's move and talk about string buffer. So what exactly the string buffer? A string buffer is nothing but a thread save. Okay, a thread safe. So that means all the methods which is related to the string buffer class is what ma? A thread safe. That is mutable sequence of character. So that means we can modify here. A string buffer is like a string, same as a string, but can be modified. So that means when you compare with the string class and the string buffer, string you cannot modify it, whereas string buffer, okay, the content you can modify it here. At any point in time, it contains some particular sequence of character, but the length and content of the sequence can be changed through certain method calls, right? So obviously, once you create it here by using the append method, you can keep on changing the content of the string buffer. See, basically, one thing you need to understand here when I talk about the string buffer. So buffer means a temporary memory. Okay, so initially, whenever we create a string buffer, it is maintaining some capacity. Okay, some size like 18, where it is going to store the content here. And whenever we modify here, it is going to modify the actual content of the string there. Fine. I hope you understood. Now let's talk about the methods in the string buffer. In case of string buffer, we had the following methods. Only the few methods have kept. There are so many methods which we can refer to the API document there. But for the time being, let's understand the few methods. The first one is append, which is basically used to append the specified string to the given string here. Next one, we have a capacity method, which is used to return the current capacity. As I said here, whenever we create a string buffer, it internally maintains some capacity, and the capacity is around 16 there. Fine. Now, not only this, if you want to delete in the sense you are modifying the right. So delete, you can delete the specific characters of the given string from the specifying the indexes. And index start from 0 to length minus 1. So whatever the characters you want to remove, you can specify their index position. Next, we can use the reverse method, which is used to reverse the given string. And next, we can use the index. Like this, we can have couple of methods which is defined in API. So if you want to go to the API document, you can just refer the API document also, guys. Okay, you can find so many methods. Insert method is there. Okay, capacity, caret method, append method. Okay, last index, replace, subsequence, substring, toString. There are so many methods. I request for you to go through the API document so that you can understand that. Fine. So let's go to the coding part and let's see that how we can check it here. Fine. Okay. Now let's take an example. Let's take a string buffer. Initially, I'm just taking string buffer, new string buffer. Let's take a Raju. Okay. So initially, I'll do one thing, guys. I'll just take an empty here. So sorry, string buffer. Okay. Now, if you see, guys, now basically, whenever we create the string buffer, we are not specify any content here. I just kept empty here. So we get empty only, right? Now, if you want to know the capacity, you can know the capacity by calling a method called as capacity, which is used to give the capacity, how much capacity, okay, when you create this string buffer here. So initially, capacity is how much more? 16. You can see the 16 is a capacity where you can store the number of characters, right? If you want to add or if you want to append here, instead of using concat method, we can use append method. So what do you want to append, guys, now? I just want to append the string here. Let's take the string. Let's take here Raju. So what is the output you're expecting, guys, now? So obviously it is appending the existing one because generally what happens like whenever you create here, you're getting an empty. Let's say, for example, you're taking empty. For this empty, you are appending Raju. So what happened now? It is became Raju. We get here Raju, right? So not only this, you can also append some more characters, group of characters like Kumar. Now this time what happens guys now? First thing is create an empty, then is append Raju. Now it's at this point it's became Raju. And for this Raju, we are appending what? Kumar. So we get here Raju Kumar. Yes, perfectly is working guys now. Yeah. So if you just look at carefully, when I used to compare, with the string buffer, in case of the string, we have just observed that every time it's going to create a new object. But in case of the string buffer, it is not creating the new object every time. It is modifying to the existing content of the string only. It is going to modify the existing of the content of the string. So I'll be showing for you diagrammatically how we can compare the difference between string and string buffer there. But before that, let me cover the few methods which is related to the string buffer there. Fine. So for the timing here, as of now, we got Raju Kumar. Now we can use another method that is called as reverse. So we can reverse a given string here. Now what happens guys now? We got reverse, right? So we get RAMUK space UJA. Yes or no? We get all the reverse string here. You can see guys. Yes, we got the reverse string here. Now, not only that, you can also perform the other operations guys. Let me use another operation that is called as delete. So from where to where you want to delete. So for example, here, I just want to delete the last name. I just want to get only the first name and I want to remove last name. So how we can remove the last name, guys, now? So look the index here, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this is the 5 and the last length minus 1. So I want to see the 5 starting position and I want to get the length of that. So in this case, what is the output we are expecting, guys, now? We are expecting only Raju here. Yes, perfectly is working. So like this, we can perform the various operations on the string buffer. See, generally, whenever you got a requirement, okay, whenever you got a requirement to modify the existing content, then always good practice to go for the string buffer because string is what immutable object, whereas string buffer is mutable, means you can modify the existing content. So rather than it's creating the new object always, it is modifying the existing content. So that's a quite differences between string and string buffer here. Okay. So let's see there's some more differences and also I'll be showing with you diagrammatically what exactly the differences. Fine. So let's see that the first difference is string class is immutable as I said because that is the default behavior. And because of this guys, because of immutability, it is a thread safe. Okay, because of immutability, it inherits the thread safety tag. String buffer class is mutable. That means you can modify it here. You can modify it here. Okay? And the string buffer is also thread safe. Guys. It's also thread safe means the methods which are belong to that it's a thread safe. String is a slow and consume more memory when you concat too many strings because every time it create new instance. As we know, whenever we use a new operator, right? Obviously, it is creating the new object there, right? But whereas string buffer is what? A fast and consume less memory when you concat or append. Why? Because as I said for you, whenever we append to the existing string, rather than it's creating, it is modifying the existing here. I'll show you with the diagrammatically so that you can understand better way. Fine. And the last point is string class override the equals method of object class. See, basically in Java, there are two things which is made common. One thing is java.lang is a default package which is available for the developer. In that package, whatever the classes, interfaces, enum exceptions, errors are defined, which is available directly for the developers, we can use it here. So in that we had a class, the supermost class, whose class name is java.lang.object. In that object class, we have 11 methods. In that 11 methods, we have one method that is equals method. And if you see that string class has been override that method, which is used to compare the content of the string. This method is not override by the string buffer to compare the content here. So whenever you have the requirement for comparing the content of the string, you can go for string class method. Whenever you got a requirement like reverse the string, you want to delete it here, then always good practice to go for string buffer there. Fine. Let's see one interview question. Like sometime what happens, like the interviewer will throw some program there for you, and they will ask you to that explain how it is working entirely. Now, what if somebody asks you like this? We know that when you're taking a string here, right? Generally, I'm talking here. Let's say Raju, str.concat. Let's take once again, guys, string str new string Raju concat of Kumar. Okay, now. So can you guess what is the output here? Basically, we have been learned so far. We have learned so far or not? Yes or not? Now, what will happen, guys? No, generally, the output is what? What is the output you are expecting here? The output we are expecting is Raju. Am I right or wrong? The output is what? Raju. So though it is creating the new object Raju space bar, still it is going to point to the Raju. Remember, we have already discussed, right? So if you want, please watch that video so that you can understand, because we have already discussed this in details. Fine. So we get the output as what, ma? Raju, right? Okay. What if that if you're holding in the str, then we get Raju Kumar, right? So for example, I'm just keeping the comments like this. Now what happens now? So instead of pointing to the Raju, it is going to point to the Raju Kumar. Yes or no? We already have discussed or not? Yes. Fine. Okay. Now if you see that, if you take string buffer, if you take string buffer, new string buffer, I'm just taking Raju. SB dot append of Kumar. Now can you guess what is the output now? If I just print it here. So the output you are expecting is what? Raju Kumar. So why it is happening the Raju Kumar here? Because there is no concept of the string constant pool here, right? So as I said, in case of the string buffer, it is going to modify the existing content. It is going to modify the existing content rather than it is getting the new object there. But whereas in case of string class, what is happening, guys? No, it is going to modify but create another object. Yes or not? It will concat. See, it is not concat, it is concating like Raju. Okay, Kumar is happening. Okay, but what happens now? It is creating the new object here. But whereas in case of string buffer, rather than creating new object, it is going to modify the existing content here. So that's the basic differences between the string and string buffer. So this is very, very important. I hope you have understood the question and you have understood the explanation also, right? So please comment me if you're not understood anything. Okay, and please watch this video again so that you can understand properly there. Fine. So this is about your string buffer and string. Last one, string builder. See, basically, we had another class, string builder class, which is added from JDK 1.5 version. And this string builder is the same as string buffer. Now you can ask me the question, sir, if string buffer and string builder both are same, then why it is introduced string builder? See, basically string buffer and string builder both are same, okay, except one difference. String buffer class, when you compare with the string buffer class with the string builder is a non-synchronized methods. Means whatever the methods which is defined in string builder that are non-synchronized. So what do you mean by non-synchronized? Multiple threads can be accessed at a time. Whereas string buffer methods are synchronized, means only one thread can be accessed at a time. So that is the quite differences between string buffer and string builder. I hope you understood. And if you want to work with methods, you can go to the official document, API document. Let me go through that one, string builder also. So you can see, guys, almost same methods now. whatever the methods we had in string builder class. Let me show you from the top string builder class. Same methods, guys. Same, almost same methods, capacity, append, delete, insert, okay, replace, reverse, same methods of string. But what is the differences you can find between the string buffer and string builder, guys? Okay, so string buffer by default methods are thread safe, whereas string builder methods are non-synchronous, right? So this is the quite difference between string buffer and string builder. So last week we'll try to understand differences between string buffer and string builder. If you see, guys, in case of the string, as I said, is the immutable object. We cannot modify it. Whereas string buffer and builder both are designed for mutable here. When you talk about thread safety, string buffer is thread safety here. String is by default inheriting thread safety because of immutability as a set. And by default, the methods are synchronized. Whereas string builder methods are non-synchronized. So this is very important interview question you can find between the string buffer, string builder, and string buffer. Now, performance-wise, string, whenever we concatenating, as I said, it always creates a new object. But whenever we use the append method in both string buffer and string builder, it is going to modify the existing one here. Okay? So it consumes memory for each new string. A lot of memory we required here. But here, memory, okay, is utilized in efficient way because existing, okay, content is going to modify here. Now, this is suitable for immutable here, and this is suitable for mutable string, especially in the loops, like whenever we have the requirement for, okay, append or modify the existing one here. Same as string builder also. Okay. String is synchronization is not required because by default it's inheriting. Synchronous methods are ensured thread safety is there and non-synchronous here. Yes, we already have discussed this one, right? Okay, so methods for modifications we don't have, but we have append method, insert and delete here. Same like append, insert, delete for modification. So this is a quite difference, guys, between the string and string buffer and string builder. So I hope people have just understood what exactly the differences between string buffer, string builder, right? So I hope you have understood what exactly the differences and how we can work it here. Now, till here, we'll stop this. Okay. And next one, I'm going to start, guys, the series of the OOPS concept here. And in the next video, I'll be starting about OOPS. A few videos I'll be making, and I'll be going for the collections there. Fine. So thank you for watching this video. I hope you have understood this concept. If you like this video, please subscribe my channel here. Okay, that is Imtiaz IT service there. And please follow me in the Instagram, guys. Fine. Thank you so much.